How's it going, everybody? My name is LuckyBunz. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a full breakdown for the Go Wild area in 2025. This includes a full analysis on the event ticket and if it's actually worth purchasing. But if you're wondering if the Go Pass, which features a silver bottle cap, is worth it, I'm going to have a video out real soon analyzing that. So first of all, this event will be taking place on November 15th and November 16th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. local time. Now, last year we actually had a bonus 15-minute time period where we could use up the remainder of our Safari Balls, and we would have an increase of mighty Pokemon spawning as well. But according to the official blog post, there was no mention of this, so it's purely speculation as of right now if we're actually going to get those additional 15 minutes at the end of the day. Supposedly from the in-person event that happened this year, the Go Safari Balls actually carried over to the next day, but they all expired at the end of day 2. So I just wanted to clarify that in this video because there's been a lot of misinformation going around that we're going to get the additional 15 minutes, but there has been no official information regarding it. Putting that aside though, let's go over the current season bonuses that we're going to have, and then we'll go over the free bonuses for this event, and then we'll take a look at the ticket holder bonuses, and then we'll talk about whether or not the ticket is actually worth purchasing. So currently we're going to have the seasonal bonuses of guaranteed extra large candy from trading Pokemon if you're level 31 or higher, along with 1 additional candy from trading Pokemon as well. And we'll have increased friendship experience, which is going to be 1.5 times. Now ideally you do want to try and get your 100 trades done at the end of day 1, just because that's going to be 100 more Pokemon storage you're going to have available for the next day, which is extremely important for a big event like this. So having the guaranteed extra large candy from trading Pokemon bonus is super beneficial during this time. Next up, let's cover all of the free bonuses that will be available for this event. So first of all, we're going to have the remote raid pass limit removed. We're going to be able to TM frustration away on our shadow Pokemon using charge TMs. We're going to get access to Go Safari Balls, and you can actually get these from spinning Pokestops. I do believe you're going to get access to a few from the time to research. That's kind of how it was set up last year, although there was no official mention of this in the blog post, so don't quote me on that one. In terms of the mighty Pokemon shiny rate, we're going to have a shiny rate of 1 out of 64. This was how it was last year, and this is applicable whether or not you actually have the ticket. We're going to get 2 additional free orange raid passes to use. That's going to be a total of 3 to use each day. If you save one from the day before on Friday, you can use a total of 4 on Saturday and then 3 on Sunday. We're going to have the MP collection limit raised from 800 to 1600. We're going to get increased spawns from routes. We're going to get event-themed field research, and these will most likely reset every single hour, which is super beneficial, especially if you guys are pushing for a certain level up requirement and you have to get field research done. This event will be a great time to do that. You'll get 3 surprise encounters from snapshots. Basically just take a picture of your buddy Pokemon, back out, and the encounter is going to appear. Rinse and repeat that until you run out of encounters. And then finally, we're going to get access to special backgrounds on Darkrai, Cresselia, Grimmsnarl, and Beware with the Wilderness Cape. You'll have a chance to get these Pokemon with their special backgrounds as you do them in raid battles. Now during this event, we're going to have the debut of these following shiny Pokemon. We're going to have shiny Impidimp, Hatena, Beware with the Wilderness costume. That's going to be in 3-star raids exclusively. Shadow Shiny Darkrai, Shadow Shiny Cresselia, Shiny Gmax Grimmsnarl, and Shiny Unknown W. If you guys do have the event ticket, that's the only way to get Unknown during this event. But those are going to be all of the different shiny Pokemon that will be available during this event for the first time. Now in the lower tier raids, like I mentioned, we're going to have the 3-star Beware raids with the Wilderness costume. For anybody out there who's a costume shiny hunter, you'll probably want to do those. In the legendary raid pool, we're going to have Shadow Cresselia on Saturday only and Shadow Darkrai on Sunday only. In max battles, we're going to have Gmax Grimmsnarl on both days, and then that's pretty much it in regards to raid battles. We might have some Pokemon in 1-star raids, but nothing was officially mentioned. Next up, let's talk about the wild spawns that are going to be featured during this event, and these are going to be from habitats specifically. So the habitat rotation schedule is going to be pretty simplified for this event. We're going to have 2 different habitats. We're going to have the Lurking Dark Hour and the Fanciful Fairy Hour. Basically, these are going to rotate every other hour based on your local time zones for both days of the event, so you do want to ideally alternate between your Mega Evolutions to maximize the candy and extra large candy bonuses for this, but there's never really one mega option that kind of works for all the spawns, so you do have to figure out in advance which ones you want to have active, and you'll have to have a decent amount of mega energy prepped for this, but we'll talk about this more when I go over my best Pokemon to hunt video for this event specifically. There's a lot of different spawns featured, so let's talk about those right now, and again, we will analyze each one of these and which ones you should be paying attention to, in addition to the mighty Pokemon featured in that best Pokemon to hunt video. So from the Lurking Dark Hour, we're going to get access to Alolan Meowth, Alolan Grimer, Ghastly, Hoot Hoot, Murkrow, Sneasel, Houndour, Poochyena, Galarian Zigzagoon, Seedot, Nincada, Cacnea, Kricketot, Stunky, Skorupi, Scraggy, Zorua, Foongus, Dino, Inkay, Phantom, Impidimp, and Dreepy. The only Pokemon that cannot be shiny from that pool is going to be Dreepy. Now from the Fanciful Fairy Hour, we're going to have Clefairy, Alolan Vulpix, Jigglypuff, Galarian Ponyta, Chansey, Togetic, Marill, Snubbull, Ralts, Skitty, Swablu, Feebas, Cherubi, Audino, Cottonee, Esper, Dedenne, Klefki, Poplio, Cutiefly, Hatena, Impidimp, and Smoliv. And the only Pokemon that can't be shiny from this pool is going to be Klefki. So overall, you guys have a lot of different spawns across both days. We definitely need to spend some more time analyzing each one of these and which ones are actually worth paying attention to for both for raids as well as PvP. Next up, let's talk about the Mighty Pokemon though, and there's going to be different Mighty Pokemon available on both Saturday as well as Sunday. These can be caught between level 35 and level 40 without the weather boost, and between level 40 and level 45 with the weather boost. Normally the highest level Pokemon you can catch in the wild is level 35 with the weather boost, so this is a massive opportunity to really build up a lot of good Pokemon on your raid teams. Mighty Pokemon also have an IV floor of 13, 13, 13, which means you have a 1 out of 27 chance of rolling the hundo, and the only downside here is that these Pokemon have an incredibly low catch rate, but that's kind of where the Ghost Safari Balls come in. Now, last year, guys, I got so many hundos just catching these randomly, no callouts or anything like that. I got hundos off my incense, I got hundos off the lure modules. You have such a good chance of getting hundos, and so really try to take advantage of going out there and exploring as much as possible, walking to different areas, just trying to maximize the amount of spawns you're getting during this event, and I guarantee you're going to walk away with at least a few hundos, if not potentially even a shundo. Once again, the shiny rate on these Mighty Pokemon are going to be 1 out of 64, and that is applicable for all players, whether or not you actually have the ticket. So on Saturday, we're going to get access to Wigglytuff, Galarian Rapidash, Tyranitar, Mawile, Absol, Golurk, Hatterene, Obstagoon, and Meowscarada. Every single one of those Pokemon will have the chance to be shiny, and then on Sunday, we're going to get access to Alolan Ninetales, Galarian Weezing, Granbull, Houndoom, Gardevoir, Honchkrow, Garchomp, Drapion, and Weavile. Same thing with all those Pokemon, you'll have the chance to get a shiny on every single one of them. Now additionally, on top of that, for non-ticket holders, you'll also be able to get special Incense Mighty Pokemon, and these will be available on both days. So from that pool, we're going to have Alolan Ninetales, Galarian Rapidash, Tyranitar, Mawile, Absol, Garchomp, Drapion, Weavile, Hatterene, and Meowscarada. And there are actually going to be additional incense spawns for ticket holders, but we'll spend some more time talking about that when I go over the ticket information in just a little bit here. Now additionally, on top of that, we're going to have special 5km eggs featured during this event, and this will also be available to all players. So from these 5km eggs, we're going to get access to Mime Jr., Sandile, Pawniard, Carbink, Impidimp, and Tinkatink. The only Pokemon that can't be shiny from this egg pool is going to be Tinkatink, which is kind of unfortunate. And then finally, we're going to have access to these legacy movesets if you do happen to have their base forms and you evolve them all the way up. So Galarian Ponyta will evolve all the way up into Galarian Rapidash. That's going to get access to Wild Charge. Ralts is going to evolve all the way up into Gardevoir and get access to Synchronoise. Absol is going to get access to Brutal Swing. There's no evolution there. Gible, when evolved all the way up into Garchomp, is going to get Earth Power. Stuffle, when evolved into Beware, is going to get Drain Punch. Galarian Zigzagoon, when evolved into Obstagoon, is going to get Obstruct, and then finally Sprigatito, when evolved into Meowscarada, is going to get Frenzy Plant. Keep in mind that all the Pokemon I just mentioned will also be available as Mighty Pokemon, so if you do happen to catch them in the wild, you're also going to get access to their special movesets. Overall, I would say that catching them as Mighty Pokemon is going to be a lot more beneficial to you just because you do have a 1 out of 27 chance of getting the hundo that way, and therefore, anything that you might have to evolve probably isn't going to be as good because, again, these Mighty Pokemon are going to be very high level and pretty much battle ready. The Mighty Pokemon have honestly made the Go Wild Area event one of my favorite events of the year, and so we'll definitely spend a lot more time analyzing this in my best Pokemon to hunt video, which will be out in a few days. So overall, there's definitely a lot of great bonuses for the free version of this event. I think if you don't want to buy the event ticket, you'll still have a great time, but if you do decide to buy the event ticket, I'm going to explain why that's actually so worth it for these major events in Pokemon Go. And again, I'm not sponsored or anything like that, this is my own personal opinion. Having played many of these events in the past, the event ticket is very much worth its value, and let's talk about that right now. So first of all, the event ticket is going to cost $12, and if you happen to purchase this through the web store, you're going to get 3 additional premium raid passes, which I think just makes it more worth it. But in terms of the actual bonuses, we're going to get a boosted shiny rate on wild Pokemon. Now, it wasn't specified that it's wild Pokemon, but this is historically how it's actually been. Now, the shiny rate is most likely going to be 1 out of 128 on every single Pokemon that I just mentioned earlier in the habitat rotations. Now, additionally, on top of that, we're going to get a special research featuring either a fairy or dark type path, and depending on the path that you actually pick, you're going to get 1,000 extra Stardust per catch on the Mighty Pokemon of that typing. I don't really feel like there's a bad choice in terms of which path you end up picking, but if you've already decided which one you're going to go with, let us know in the comment section down below. Okay, now on top of that, we're also going to have special incense spawns, and this is going to be additional to the mighty Pokemon that will be spawning from incense. We're going to have the unknown letters spelling out wild, so W-I-L-D, and again, the shiny unknown W is going to be a new shiny debut during this event. And then we're also going to get access to Lake Spirits in their mighty Pokemon forms, which means we're going to have boosted Lake Spirits with a 1 out of 27 chance of actually being a hundo. I am very much looking forward to that. That's going to be a fun hunt throughout the day. And again, it's only from incense spawns, so keep in mind, you cannot use your daily incense to get these special incense spawns. You have to use the regular incense. For anybody who was thinking of using their daily incense like last year to potentially try and get the Galarian birds with the increased catch rate on the Ghost Safari Bowl, I honestly feel like you're losing out on so many good spawns by just doing that instead of just going with the regular incense for the special incense spawns, whether or not you actually have the event ticket. So personally speaking, I wouldn't do that. I would definitely make sure just to use the regular incense, especially if you do have the event ticket. Next up, we're going to have an upgrade to the free passes that we're going to get each day to use. Those are going to be the orange raid passes. So from the free version, we got 2 additional free raid passes to use for a total of 3. From the paid ticket version, we're going to get 5 additional free orange raid passes to use for a total of 6 each day. Now we're also going to get increased MP from power spots. I'm not really sure why they didn't actually specify the increased amounts, but we're going to hypothetically say it's going to be 8 times the normal amount of MP. That's historically what it's been for previous events, so we're going to go off that. And then we're also going to get increased MP from walking. The walking requirement was not changed, so that's still going to be 2 kilometers, but again, when it comes down to the speculative amount, we're going to go with 600 here, which is what it's historically been. But once again, the actual increased amounts for both the increased MP from power spots and the increased MP from walking were not mentioned on the blog post. Now, what was actually mentioned though is that we're going to get a 3/4 cost to power up and unlock max moves, basically a 1/4 discount if you want to simplify it in that way. I do feel like this bonus is kind of a noob trap for this event because some people might be thinking, oh, that's like a great bonus, right? I should take advantage of that. It is a small discount and it is a nice discount, but you know, the opportunity cost here is that you wouldn't be able to do more Gmax Grimmsnarl if you're upgrading your max moves and powering them up. Unless you're a pay-to-play player and you're just dropping a ton of max particles, but again, you can do this during a non-event and power up and unlock some max moves at your own pace, at your own time, and getting all that MP is going to be free. So honestly, I wouldn't really recommend taking advantage of this bonus specifically. You should just use all of your MP to do more Gmax raids, and that's pretty much about it. Moving on though, we're going to get 2 times catch candy, 1/2 hatch distance, an increased 5-kilometer egg drop rate from Pokestops. So if you guys are going to be hatching those 5-kilometer eggs, you're going to have a better chance of getting them from the I guess, Pokestop egg pool, which again, you can get 2-kilometer or 10-kilometer eggs instead. We're also gonna get 2-hour lure modules, which is pretty nice. We're gonna have the MP collection limit raised from 800 to 3,200, so you're gonna get a 1,600 increase compared to the free version on this if you have the ticket. You're also going to get 6 special trades to use each day. Trades are going to cost 50% less Stardust, and you're going to get 6 surprise encounters from snapshots instead of 3 like the free version. So overall, there's definitely a lot of nice bonuses, but we should probably analyze what's actually worth the ticket value, because a lot of these are kind of nice, but in terms of monetary value, well, maybe they're not so good. So first of all, let's analyze the raid passes by themselves, right? We're going to get 3 additional raid passes to use each day. Again, these are going to be the orange raid passes, so you have to use them. If you don't use them, you will lose them. So basically that comes out to a $6 value for these 6 additional raid passes that you're going to be getting. You're also going to get 3,200 additional MP to use over the weekend, 1,600 to use each day, which once again comes out to a value of $6. So just the additional raid passes and the additional MP alone come out to the value of the event ticket, which in my opinion is pretty good. Like, at least you're getting your money's worth in terms of that. I mean, you could have no event ticket and then you could just, you know, spend more money on raid passes or spend more money on MP packs, and you would be getting the same value, except you'd be losing out on all the other bonuses. So if you're going to be doing that anyways, you might as well just buy the event ticket. But that is just on that value alone. We have a lot more things to talk about. Now, personally speaking, what I consider to be the most valuable bonus for this event ticket is an intangible one, because you can't actually quantify a shiny boost, but it is a major appeal for an event like this, and the same thing applies to both the Go Fest as well as the Go Tour events too. If you're essentially paying for an experience, I think that's always worth it. But at the end of the day, RNG is still RNG, and you're not guaranteed to get a certain number of shiny Pokemon just because you buy this event ticket. You're still going to need to grind through as many spawns as possible if you do want to end up with good results. And I personally do have a friend who averages over 100 shinies across the entire weekend. More or less, he gets like 40 to 60 per day, which is insane, but that wouldn't even be possible without the shiny boost on the event ticket. So I understand some people are going to say that, oh, there's no shiny boost or they barely boost it, but let's be honest here. If you're grinding that much and you end up with 40 to 60 shinies, I mean, there's obviously some sort of shiny boost. I refuse to believe otherwise because every single event he averages that much. Now, personally speaking, I think I averaged about 70 to 80 shinies during GoFest across both days. I did way better on day 2, so again, RNG is a factor here, and even if you're not really having great luck, that could turn around on the second day or even during the second half of a day. Just make sure that you're consistently grinding as much as possible, and I guarantee you will end up with a ton of shinies. Now, once again, this bonus is only applicable to the wild spawns. If you're going to be doing a bunch of raids, there is no shiny boost there, whether or not you actually have the ticket. Now, we should also go over the additional bonuses that you're going to be getting for this event as well. This is more like a cherry on top. So we have the incense spawns, which in my opinion is a very nice complementary bonus to the wild spawns. Unknown are only featured during special events, and for the first time ever, we're actually going to have the lake spirits in their mighty forms available from incense too. And with the increased IV floor, this is going to be a great opportunity to potentially get yourself a hundo. So I think that's pretty cool right there. Now, following that, we're going to get increased MP from power spots and walking. This is kind of a nice convenient bonus, but not really anything that's super important. I feel like most people who are going to be raiding Gmax Grimmsnarl really hard are probably just going to be buying MP packs from the store. We're going to get a 3/4 cost or 1/4 discount to power up and unlock max moves, kind of whatever on that one. 2 times catch candy is a nice bonus, not super crazy. 1/2 hatch distance, kind of the same thing. Increased 5-kilometer egg drop rate from Pokestops, kind of whatever about that one. 2-hour lure module, same deal. 12 special trades. Depending on how into lucky trades you are, this bonus could be more or less valuable for you. If you don't really trade with anybody in your local area, this bonus is probably irrelevant, but if you do, then you can definitely take advantage of this one. Even if you don't have like anyone to do lucky trades with, you can just do 6 special trades and just, swap shinies, for example, and you have a chance of that rolling lucky, and then if it does roll lucky, you have a 1 out of 64 chance of that turning into a shundo. And then you're also going to get 50% less Stardust on all trades you do, which is a pretty nice bonus, especially if you're going to be swapping new shinies with somebody else. And then of course we're also going to have 6 snapshot encounters, which are kind of whatever. And so really when it comes down to it, I feel like a lot of these bonuses are pretty nice. They're mostly just cherry on top bonuses though. The incense spawns are a big deal. The orange raid passes, the additional MP, and of course the shiny boosts are the main value that you should really be paying attention to if you want to buy this event ticket. But I think the players who honestly get the most out of these events are actually hunting down the wild spawns, and specifically during this event, that is going to be the mighty Pokemon. So if you're going to be focused on that over the course of the entire weekend, definitely make sure to buy the event ticket. If you're only going to go out and play like casually, then maybe don't worry about it too much. A lot of people know that I played this game free to play, which means I don't spend any money on Pokecoins, I don't buy any of the regular event tickets, but for the major events in game, that is the only time that I actually make an exception, and I do consider buying the event ticket. For the last couple of years, I've been gifted every single one of the major event tickets, so I haven't had to buy it myself, but this year it is looking like I might actually have to buy this one. And I don't have an issue with that. I tell you guys that all the time. Like, I still don't spend any money on Pokecoins, I don't buy any of the other event tickets, I don't buy any of the Go Pass stuff. The only time that I'm ever willing to spend money is for the experience aspect of this game. Whether that be an in-person event or for one of these major events over the weekend like Go Tour, Go Fest, or Go Wild. That's the only time, and I'm cool with that. Like, I am perfectly fine maintaining that mostly free-to-play status. I think there's a lot of players who actually are in the same boat as me where they play this game free-to-play, but for these major events, I do buy the event ticket. So again, I always get comments about this stuff, and I guarantee I'm gonna get some comments telling me otherwise in this video right now, but I know there's a lot of you guys out there who do understand where I'm coming from with this stuff, and at the end of the day, like, it's really up to you what you want to spend on this game. If you want to spend a bunch of money, that's totally cool, and I respect that. You should have as much fun as possible, as long as you're not going too crazy with it and it's affecting your other expenses in life. But I don't think $12 is really going to make or break the bank. I think that's perfectly fine. Go out there, have some fun with your friends, and if you don't want to buy the event ticket, that's cool too. You can go out there and have a good time. There's a lot of free bonuses during this event that I think you can take advantage of, but for these major events, like, I can tell you based on historical perspective, the event tickets make it so much better. You will have so much more fun if you just buy the event ticket. And I'm not saying to buy the Go Pass or anything like that, just the event ticket is, what's going to really change it for you if you actually go out there and grind. Like, if you're going out there and you're going to play casual, then maybe the event ticket isn't for you. But if you're going to go out there and grind and really take advantage of everything this event has to offer, then this event ticket is going to be worth it, and even then some. So anyways, rant over. I just always like to give my perspective on that, especially because I always get questioned over and over again on my free-to-play status. I consider myself mostly free-to-play these days. I'm only ever willing to spend money on the in-person events or the major events in Pokemon Go. I don't buy any of the other event tickets, I don't buy the Go Passes, I don't spend money on Pokecoins, and so yeah, I'm not really spending money on this game outside of this, and to me, I don't care. People are just like, oh, well, that doesn't make you free to play. Well, yeah, that's literally what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm mostly free to play because that's how I play this game like 98% of the year. So basically, in conclusion, yeah, I think this event ticket is worth it. I'll definitely be buying this for myself to play over the weekend. If I don't end up getting gifted it, that's perfectly fine. I don't really have any issue paying for the major event tickets. I think it's very much worth it for the experience aspect alone. And that's pretty much about it. That being said, though, when it comes down to the Go Pass and the Silver Bottle Cap, I'm personally not going to be buying that myself. I will spend more time analyzing this in a separate video, and whether or not it's actually worth it, or it could be worth it for one of you guys out there. I don't think there's anything wrong with buying stuff like that. I just think, in terms of my personal exception for how I play this game, I like to pay for the experience aspect side of things, and that's fine with me, but I don't really want to be paying for items. I've always kind of been against that from the very start. That's kind of how my free-to-play playstyle even began, and so I've kind of maintained that stance. And in the future, if I'm ever able to be gifted a Go Pass or something like that, I mean, I'd be open to obviously having that happen, but I don't think I'm ever going to go out of my way to buy one of the Go Passes, just because all of the items or all the premium items that are offered through them are things you don't really need, right? In terms of the event tickets for the, Go Fest or Go Tour or Go Wild, you're paying for an experience over the weekend. And again, that shiny boost, going out to play with your friends, all the additional bonuses, it's a whole thing, and I think that is worth it. Anyways, though, I feel like I've ranted long enough. Hopefully you guys did find this video helpful. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button down below. And of course, if you want to check out some more content to get yourself ready for the Go Wild Area event, you guys can watch these two videos next.